Okay, guys, now we're going to talk about solving multi-step linear inequalities for section 6.2. So when you're solving multi-step linear inequalities, it's just like solving multi-step linear equations, except that you need to remember if you multiply or divide by a negative, specifically by a negative, all right, you will need to reverse the direction of the inequality or switch the direction of the inequality. But everything else remains the same. So you will want to do your adding and subtracting first, and then you're multiplying and dividing because you're doing reverse order of operations. So in example number 1, we have 5x minus 3 is greater than 12. You're going to start by adding 3 to both sides. We get 5x is greater than 15. Divide by 5. And we get x is greater than 3. So any number greater than 3 will work in that inequality to make it true. So like, for example, say 5. If you did 5 times 5 minus 3, it'll be greater than 12, which 25 minus 3 is greater than 12. It's just 22 greater than 12. So any number greater than 3 will work. Okay. So let's look at example 2. We have negative 3x plus 1 is less than or equal to 22. So we'd start by subtracting 1 from each side. We get negative 3x is less than or equal to 21. Divide by a negative 3. Now we're dividing by a negative, so we got to reverse the direction of inequality, so it's going to become greater than, so we'd have x is greater than negative 7, greater than or equal to, negative 7. All right, let's move this up. Oops. And let's also have to get rid of those words, get those out of our way. So we can do our next problem. All right, so here we've got opposite of x plus 1 is less than or equal to 3x plus 21. So again, I want to get my variable on one side because I have a variable on both sides. I'm going to start by adding x to both sides. I get 1 is less than or equal to, it'd be 4x plus 21. Then I'd subtract 21. Okay, we get negative 20 is less than or equal to 4x. Divide by 4. And we get negative 5 is less than or equal to x. And there's our inequality. All right. For number 4, 5 minus x is greater than 4. We could start by subtracting 5. A couple of different ways to do this one, but I'm going to start. Now this is minus x, so I'm going to bring it down as the opposite of x. And it's going to be greater than negative 1. And then you could think of this as like dividing by a negative 1 to get rid of that negative sign in front of that x. And then that means we have to reverse the direction of our inequality, so we're going to have x is less than 1. Okay. And let's see, let's move this up. Number 5, we have 2x plus 10 is greater than or equal to 7 times the quantity x plus 1. So we're going to do distributive property first. So this 2x plus 10 is going to stay the same. Greater than or equal to would be 7x plus 7. And then I'd want to get the variable on one side, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So we get 10 is greater than or equal to 5x plus 7. Then we'd subtract 7 from both sides. We get 3 is greater than or equal to 5x. Divide by 5. And we get basically 3/5 is greater than or equal to x. And it's okay if we get a fractional answer. All right. Now we can also look at this one, number 6, example number 6. We can apply it kind of to geometry. It says write an inequality for the values of x. We have a triangle, and it says the area is greater than 60 centimeters squared. And we have it looks like a right triangle. So what's nice about that is the right triangle tells us our base and our height, because your base and height on a triangle always come together at a right angle. And what you have to remember here is you got to remember your formula for finding area of a triangle. Your formula for finding area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Okay, so if the area is greater than 60 centimeters squared. Okay, so we can show, using these numbers from this triangle, what you could do to get the area, and we want it greater than 60. So we'd have to take 1/2 of 12 times x. All right, our base and our height are going to be the 12 and the x because they come together at that right angle. All right, so 1/2 of 12 would be 6. We'd have 6x has to be greater than 60. And we isolate, we'd have to divide by 6. And x would have to be greater than 10, and it would be 10 centimeters in order for the area to be greater than 60. Now, if it was just 10, it would be exactly 60. We want the area to be greater than 60, so x would have to be greater than 10. All right, guys, we'll work a little bit more with solving multi-step linear inequalities in the next class that we have. All right.